come, sit down. His eyes say bedroom, but his hands say hospital. Fearless cat keeps returning to the London supermarket he's banned from. Fight the system. Just saw a freezing cold take made by someone with an anime icon. Very chaotic. This is formatted exactly like a Trump tweet. Donald Trump. Just saw a freezing cold take made by someone with an anime icon. Very chaotic. Teach a horse to fish. You'll live for a day. Look a horse in the mouth. Live forever. Blast a horse with meat. Uh-oh. Reminder, you are under no obligation to look pretty. Not when you are laying around the house. Not when you go to the grocery store. Not when you sit in a classroom. Not when you go to the gym. You are never obligated to get dressed up, just so you are pretty for others. Pretty is not the rent you pay to exist in the world as a woman. That last line, wow. I need this morning. Survives another year. Not bad for a girl with no talent. Nothing better than sex. Have you ever played a game at 60 FPS? Have you ever had satisfying sex? Have you ever played a game at flawless 60 FPS without framerate stutter? Are you interested in anybody at the moment? My future self. I give that be the whole goddamn world. Hell yeah, white chocolate is underrated, oh boy. It's not even real chocolate, ya big dummy. Soon, you will not be real too. It's actually you will not be real either. I'll steal the calcium from your bones. Me, speaks it into existence. Universe. She thinks I like her. New friend. Wait, what actually is your sexuality? Me, well you see, I'm like really into 80s pop and touch stuffed, but I'm also extremely scared of intimacy and commitment, so you know, gay, or whatever. Call me out like this. I don't know, I just identify with the Joker on a personal level is all. Me. Ghostbusters? Taking over. I'm virgin. Imagine having braces during the apocalypse. No one can take your braces off, and you just have to accept that you'll have braces forever. I want a novel focused around a character with braces during the apocalypse, and the entire plot of the story revolves around their search for an orthodontist who is still alive, and they sort of accidentally save the world in the process. Titled, Brace for It. The I'm gonna take this semester seriously for once starter pack. This until 20 hours ago. This for 4 straight years. What is it about pop that drags people in so successfully? Like I've never seen anyone casually enjoy pop like I wake up every morning to another mutual lost to pop their icon, their URL. Every post on their blog is different, it's like they never even existed as anything else. What is happening? He looked pretty sad, so I joined him. We were sad, together. Damn bruh, I feel you. Who would win in a bad bee alien fight? Roger is the bad bee of the galaxy. Okay, but Roger also can't keep a man. Pleakley has a man, a family, and isn't trapped living in an attic. And to top it off, see those 2 tongues? Roger wishes he could. Oh, the tea is hot. My parents split after they made me. I'm a volcano. They are tectonic plates. Follow for more geological humor. I really hope the 2 people who just followed me aren't looking for geological humor, or you are going to be earth-shatteringly disappointed. This post is one of my best by a landslide. So I was just on the tram standing all the way back, and this 2 meters tall man with long blondish hair walks in and asks me something. So I pause my music and he repeats, "Is this tram going downtown?" I'm like, "Yeah lol." He's like, "Oh thanks, I'm not from around here you know." And I was like, cause he spoke in my language and had a perfect local accent. So anyways, I said, "Yeah sorry I didn't respond right away, I have my headphones in." And he smiled down on me and went, "That's okay," and patted my head and went to take a seat. So like, what the F did I encounter? Thought, oh. Why wasn't sympathy versus empathy ever explained to me as that sucks versus I feel you? Because that's literally the best way to explain it. Wow. Why does Snoop Dogg smile? Like he knows something you don't. He's been snooping around. Basically what happened to Smeagol when he found the One Ring is what happened to me when I discovered the internet. And we forgot the sound of trees, the softness of the wind. We even forgot our own names. And now we hiss at people and stroke our laptops while whispering "my precious." Is howdy short for how do you do? Are you f'king kidding me right now? Wait, you mean you don't use the word Fortnite in America? Wait, what? Then what do they use? They don't have a word. What do you mean they don't have a word? What kind of uncivilized people are they? The F is a fortnight. It's a word for 2 weeks. We say 2 weeks. Every day I get the exact same thing for lunch from Subway. So now when the lady sees me coming, she just starts making it and gets those cookies out. I'm predictable. Update. I decided to switch it up when I went to the food court today, and I went to the A&W next to Subway, and the Subway lady gave me the dirtiest look. I don't even know her name, but it feels like I've irreparably damaged some form of meaningful relationship. PS. I hope you're happy. Me. Now we are going to end the nature talk with a very big snake. Opens bag to reveal a large ball python. 30 kindergartners screaming with excitement. Me. Yes, she is very big. Does anyone know where ball pythons are from? Kid. The woods. Me. Yes, they do like the woods where they're from. It's a very big continent. Who knows what continent you find them on? Another kid. The sun. Me. That's in space. So no. Yet another kid. Earth. Me. Yes, that's definitely the planet they and we are on. The snake is from the same place giraffes and lions are from. Several kids. The zoo. Me. A continent is. Teacher. Deadpan. It's where Wakanda is. All 30 kindergartners. Africa. Education goals. My little sister is a really pretty girl, and she gets dick pics all the time from annoying boys. So being the girl she is, she started using them as blackmail. She now has about 30 boys doing her bidding because one stepped out of line, and she got someone to print out 500 copies of the photo and mailed it to his family. My sister is 16 and she's running a blackmail mafia. She's going places. I just watched The Blob for the first time, and not to spoil it, but cold is the only way to stop it, so they ship it to the Arctic, and these old B-movies get a lot of flack for not actually being scary, but the last line of the film was that the blob can't be killed, but at least it's stopped, so long as the Arctic stays frozen. And let me tell you, that is the most terrifying line a viewer in 2018 could hear. Tree that owns itself. The tree that owns itself is a white oak tree, widely assumed to have legal ownership of itself, and of all land within 8 feet of its base. My parents live in this town and the city legally can't tear the tree down to build or anything, because the tree has its own legal rights, and they can't do anything about it. How does this happen? How did this happen? I love this story, because this guy in the early 1800s had so many great childhood memories of this tree, and wanted to make sure it was protected no matter what, so he deeded the ownership of the tree to itself and everyone just went with it. Then in 1942 this intense windstorm came, and knocked the tree over, and people were bummed, but someone had saved an acorn from the original tree, so they planted that, and now son of the tree that owns itself is over 50 feet tall. And since this new tree is technically the offspring of the original tree, it's considered to have legally inherited the plot of land it's inhabiting. 2 generations of trees owning land is amazing. And if you don't think this is the coolest thing, get right out of my face. Honestly, I'll do whatever you want then perish is the single most powerful exchange possible in the English language, and it's from some bizarre Hugo Obama RP. And there was that other post where someone dreamt that Obama said violence for violence is the rule of beasts. Like, what is it about Obama that makes people come up with such rough-king dialogue for him? My mother had a dream where he lived in the forest and she had a cigarette with him, and he said to become God is the loneliest achievement of them all, and put it out and walked into the mist, and I've never f***ing forgotten that. I once dreamed that a giant meteor was headed for Earth, and the government had set up loudspeakers throughout the cities so Obama could give a final address. I'll never forget how strangely comforting it was when he said there are places we've never been before. Some of us have never been to the Alps. Some of us have never been to Marrakesh. The next life is simply another place we've never been before, and we're all going to go explore it together. I had a dream my family housed the Obamas for a weekend, and one morning Obama made us oatmeal for breakfast, and, looking at my disappointed face because I don't like oatmeal, he said regardless of what we taste, if we eat together, we are happy. Sunny D tastes like someone got challenged to make orange juice with no oranges. I didn't even have a description for Sunny D until just now. Holy sh. Triggered by another post I didn't want to hijack. Excalibur. In the legends, Excalibur comes out of a lake, although some versions have Excalibur as the sword in the stone. Those are later. The sword Arthur pulls from the stone breaks and he goes to get a better one from the Lady of the Lake. Here's the thing. In Northern Europe in the Iron Age all the way through to the early medieval period, most iron came from bog iron. It was hard to smelt because it was a rather low grade ore, but you didn't have to mine it, and it was a renewable resource. In about 20 years you could just come back and get more because it formed constantly, meaning that the iron used to make a sword came out of water. In most fairy stories, fairies don't like iron, so the vision of the lady as some kind of fairy or elf, not likely. The idea of her as a druid, maybe. But what's far more likely is this: the Lady of the Lake was a smith. But the Celtic deity in charge of smiths and ironworking was Bridget, a goddess. The mystical associations with the lady would fit with her being a priestess of Bridget, and thus, a smith. Arthurian people, maybe we should not be visualizing the Lady of the Lake as a slender graceful woman in a gown, but as a jacked smith in an apron. If you're straight then why did you say she was hot? Yo, I'm straight not blind. One time a nan at my school saw a hot guy and said whoa god did a nice job on that one, and we all looked at her like, and she goes I'm allowed to look at the menu, I just can't order. Guys who try to use the "are you on your period" as way to end an argument always amuse me because it gives me the excuse to lean in close and whisper. I started my day by waking up in a pool of my own blood. Is that how you'd like me to end yours?